Hey, what's up, guys? Bear with me a second. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm finishing done with the work stuff today, so now I'm going to work on a little bit of personal projects. Man. All right. Say hi. Let me know you can hear and see everything. What's up, Mombi? Hope you're doing well. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is you guys are getting some sneak peeks with this. As some of you know, I'm the creator of Psycho Sal, which is about a serial killer in New Orleans in the 1980s. Well, I've got another book that will be coming out somewhere around the first of the year, and that book is called Cycle of the Blood Moon, and it's going to be you know, something that's a little lighter, just in the overall sense of it, where Psycho Sal is very, very heavy, you know. So Cycle of the Blood Moon is dealing with a Lycan clan in the early 1800s, like 18 I think it's like 1830s, give or take. I got it's written down in my notes, I just don't remember offhand the dates, but it's like the early 1800s. But anyway, in that world, it's like I said, it's about a clan of Lycans who are actually the good guys, and they're trying to protect humanity from um, this this Lycan, who had made a deal with a bunch of witches to become extremely powerful, and he almost wiped out most of humanity. They finally killed him and stopped the progress he was doing. But there's a legend that was wrapped up in the witches, when, you know, because of how they were feeding him power, that made it to where um, that every like 200 years, if certain things happen in a certain way, that he could be resurrected. You know, and so, you know, we're 200 years after the murder, when they killed him, and so we're 200 years later. It's like 1830s, and the Lycans find out. Sorry, my sinuses are driving me crazy. So the Lycan clan find out that there's a witch in New Orleans in the early 1800s named Delphine, who is an actual witch from New Orleans mythology, and she's trying to do the ritual that will resurrect that blood god. And so they, you know, the this clan of werewolves, clan of Lycans. I need to make sure I word that correctly, because it is they're not werewolves; they're actual Lycans. So they come to America to try to stop that witch. And but what's really going to make this book a lot of fun is the characters that are wrapped up in it. So you're going to experience a storyline that has Lycans, which are full-blooded creatures that can change at will. They have their faculties about them when they're in full Lycan form, so they can think and process information like they would normally. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. You're also going to have werewolves that are in this book. Also, now Lycans are very large. You know, you're talking, you know, 8 feet tall, you know, kind of creatures. What's up, Cameron? and um, and then there are the werewolves. And for the werewolves, you know, they are humans who were turned by, you know, Lycans that made them. Now they are very much controlled by the phase of the moon. So when the moon is full, they do change, and that's where a lot of your mythology and your campfire stories and legends came from, was from the actual werewolves who couldn't control themselves. Because when the werewolves changed, the humans, like I said, that weren't born, but they were created, um, when they change, um, like I said, they have no control over themselves, no faculty, no nothing. They're just pure beasts. So they completely resort to the animal side of it. And now they're a bit smaller. They are still bigger than humans in general, but they're not as big as lichens. So you're going to have those in this book. You'll have lichens, full bloods, pure bloods, born that way. Then you'll have werewolves, people who were turned. And then you're also going to have, in this storyline, you're going to have you're going to have vampires too. So you're going to have a mixture of werewolves, vampires, witches. So everything that pretty much goes bump in the night is going to be in this book. So it's going to be it's going to be a good story. Like I said, you're dealing with this issue with the witches that are trying to raise this blood god. But we wanted to create something that really incorporated all the myths and legends. So they'll even, at one point in the storyline, there will even be angels who take part in some of the story, because, like I said, if this blood guy gets raised, he'll pretty much wipe out the human population and the lichens, because of the last war they had, back in the 1600s. It almost wiped out the population, and they were able to hide it, by kind of blaming a lot of the population dying in Europe on the Black Plague and stuff like that. So they were able to kind of manipulate the storyline for that to help hide it. And now, because so many of their lichen families were wiped out, and then you add, 200 years later, you got even the majority of the werewolf population has been wiped out because of man hunting werewolves. Like I said, because that's what's happened in the storylines, is they've been hunting werewolves, not lichens. Lichens, like I said, they know how to hide themselves and they have their faculty about them and stuff like that. So this is one of the characters that will be in that storyline. This is Lucius. With Lucius, he's one of the brothers for the main lichen family that come to the U.S. soil. And so, yeah, this is, you guys are getting some sneak peeks here, with seeing some of the characters. I'll also be working on, over the next few days, after I get done with my normal work day, I'll be doing some stuff with one of the angel characters, because one of the angel characters is an actual female. And I understand that in mythology, angels were kind of depicted as, non-gendered. But, I just think it makes for a more interesting story when, you have male and females that, that interact with one another. So, but, so I'll be working on her too. Yeah, this one's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, Psycho Sal is very, very heavy. There's not really any humor in it or anything like that, because it's a very very serious storyline, dealing with a city that is terrified. So you're just not going to find a lot of joking in that type of book. So on this next one though, you'll be able to have a little fun with it. There's one character, he's just a straight up horn dog. He's very full of himself, good guy, but just very full of himself, kind of the, God's gift kind of, mentality. Um, and, and you guys are going to love his character. And then like the main character, his sister, of course, is second in command of the Lycan, the main Lycan clan family. She's very no nonsense, no time for jokes, which that's the same way her oldest brother is too, who is the main general, for lack of a better word, of the house. He's very very serious, very straightforward. So yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get started on that book. I've already got some of the stuff written out and things like that. So yeah, if you're into, I'm so sorry. I apologize for clearing my sinuses like that into the video. I mean, into the mic. They are driving me crazy this evening. But yeah. If you are, into classic horror, if you're into kind of like Van Helsing style, with a bit of howling and stuff thrown into it, I think you'll dig it, because the war is going to be a lot of fun depicting these characters for. So but yeah, this is one of those characters. Pardon me. But yeah, I think it's going to be a big hit. I'm definitely excited for it. Start a riot. And there's going to be more involvement with this story that you guys will unravel as it goes. So yeah, there you go. But it's getting to do something that's going to shed some light on that mythology of New Orleans. Like I say, I know you guys are probably going, oh, you're doing another story in New Orleans. Like, I get that, but you have to understand it's one of my favorite cities. And you know, and also, you kind of want to write about things you know. And I don't really know a whole lot about like England or anything like that. So it's easier for me, of course, to write about New Orleans. I mean, I've I know the city real well. Um, so yeah, this one, like this one's going to be I think this one's going to be up a lot of people's alley, because again, we're dealing with werewolves, we're dealing with vampires, we're dealing with witches, we're dealing with demons and angels. We're dealing with a storyline that really does have the fate of mankind kind of wrapped up in it. And everybody plays a part. You know, because again, if this particular blood god, if he were to get resurrected, there's no way to stop it. They don't have the numbers. Um, so it'll definitely be a fun one, I think, to kind of write, because also with this one, this is one thing I've always made sure people understood about these books that I'm starting to do. I'm a big fan of anything could happen to anyone type of writing. It's one of the things I loved about like the Game of Thrones series and stuff. I really do love when writers or creators are not scared to kill off main character people. And so whether it be Psycho Sal or whether it be Cycle of the Blood Moon, it's definitely going to be one of those scenarios. Uh, you know, that anyone could, you could lose anyone at any time. And I think that's way better for overall storytelling, in my personal opinion. I've never been, even though I love some of these characters that I see in these shows, I'm big fans of a lot of them, but it does kind of bother me sometimes that I know that no matter what, that so and so is safe. He's going to be on next week's episode and next week. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never, I've never been super fond of that. And then as far as a location, um, New Orleans has just an immense amount of history and flavor, and in my opinion, um, it's very rich in culture. It's very rich in the people. It's very rich in its history and its storytelling, architecture, beauty. And don't get me wrong, it's like any other city. There's a lot of rough areas and stuff like that, but there's a that city is one of the older cities in the country, and it was a central port forever. Well, I mean, it still is, but you get what I'm saying. Like it was a big deal, for the country. And so it's again, being a area that is rich with that, there was a lot of things that went down in that city. Again, it's still one of the few cities in the world that still has um old school architecture and things like that. I mean the cemeteries are some of the most gorgeous cemeteries I've ever seen. The housing and everything in a lot of the areas are just incredible. um you know but no, I try not to get attached to any character. And of course, we'll test that patience, or I mean, we'll test that theory as I'm writing these characters, or creating these characters, and giving all this information to my writers to turn it into words. um we'll see how accurate that is. About me being attached or not. But I'm a big believer, for me personally, the shows or the stories that I've read that always impressed me the most were always the ones where anyone could die at any moment. That's always been a big deal for me. I love that concept. I love that there's were writers that weren't scared to do that. I think it definitely creates a much interesting read for sure. So, I mean, and especially on a book as big as Cycle of the Blood Moon's going to be. There's a lot of characters there where some can get shed. And like I said, those holy hell moments for me personally are what I think make the most intriguing books or movies or whatever. Um, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh hell yeah. I mean, that's in my opinion, Anne Rice is like the pinnacle of horror writing. I know some people may not like her, and that's fine and dandy. But for me personally, and I'm still kicking myself in the ass for never going to one of Anne Rice's Halloween balls before she passed. I hate that I didn't do that. I really hate that I didn't do that. Yeah, I hate I didn't do that. But yeah. But Yeah, yeah. Anne Rice is definitely one of my favorite writers. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I've read some of her other stuff, and I wasn't all that, like, oh, that's awesome, But that's kind of normal. I mean, there's stuff that Stephen King, even though he's one of my favorite writers, there's stuff he's written that I'm like, okay, that was so so. So, but when it comes to Anne's telling of the Vampire Chronicles series, I think that's one of the best novels out there for that series. um oh, that's cool. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to try to go down there and do it and hope like hell they're still doing that stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to debate. I've been thinking about driving down there and just kind of doing a little getaway and just go stay on one of the Airbnbs or something near Bourbon Street. Because I need to sit down and start writing Psycho Sal's, writing the overview for Psycho Sal 7 through 10, which is all Psycho Sal's perspective. So I'm thinking when I go to do that, when I go to write that synopsis or however you word it, I think I'm going to go down to New Orleans and stay Friday and Saturday night and just hang out on Bourbon Street and and just absorb the energy because I don't if you've never been um if you've never been to that city, and I've been to a lot of cities, a lot of small towns, a lot of big cities, etc. And there's just something about when with New Orleans, when you walk into Bourbon Street and the Quarter, or you walk into one of the cemeteries down there. There's something about the place that is very unique with the energy that you'll feel. It's so crazy the difference it is. Like I said, um, definitely if you've never been there, give it a try. Now, I'm not going to New Orleans during Mardi Gras. I'm just not doing it. I don't want to be around all those people. When I go, I just want it to be me and the handful of people that might be there, and just the city. You know what I mean? Um, so, but yeah, it's definitely a crazy unique place. I mean, there's just something about it, man. The energy, the I mean, I don't even really know how to explain it. Um, but it is not like any city I've ever been to. And like I said, I've been into a shitload of cities in this country. Um, and it's definitely, there's something about it. The entire mood, the energy, everything about it is just so different. It's a beautiful city. I love the people there. I love the history. I love the spiritualness of the city. You know, yeah, it's definitely got its own aura. What's up, Tim? Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is Lucius. This is one of the werewolves from the upcoming book, Cycle of the Blood Moon. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that though when I go to sit down and start writing Psycho Sal's perspective um, for the book. And you guys be ready, man. Don't miss out on Psycho Sal, man, guys. I need all of you to show up and show out on issue number 5's Kickstarter next Wednesday. Make sure you show up for it because that Kickstarter, we're going over the top with it. There's a lot of cool add-ons, a lot of cool tiers. There's even a Psycho Sal cosplay tier that comes with all the regular A covers. It comes with one of Psycho Sal's voodoo cards. It comes with one of his knives that he uses in the book. It comes with the rain poncho. It comes with his mask. It comes with, a bunch of goodies. And there's only like 3 of them on the Kickstarter. So don't miss out on that. And remember, like I told you guys, if you ever come to a show I'm at and you are dressed cosplaying Psycho Sal, you'll get a badass little free item from my table at a show. So keep that in mind. But yeah, make sure you guys are ready for that next Wednesday. Psycho Sal number 5 launches, and we got a ton of great artists on this book. Ryan Kincaid's got a couple covers. Ivy Cosplay has a couple covers, which is the first ever cosplay cover on Psycho Sal. I've got a couple covers on there, with one of them being the first ever naughty cover on a Psycho Sal book. Anna Azul's got a cover on there. Um, Ken Hunt's got a cover. Sean Forney's got a cover. Amy Good, Ruth Lucas. I don't think I'm skipping anybody there, but this issue of Psycho Sal is going to be a big deal. You know, this is also the issue where a lot of hell is breaking loose with poor Tony, the young female whose perspective you guys are doing a ride along with, so to speak. So yeah, make sure you guys are ready to back that damn Kickstarter. Not to mention the stretch goals on this Kickstarter are freaking badass. Especially the $20,000 stretch goal. If we can manage to hit it, it's either the 15 or 20K stretch goal is Psycho Sal shirts for everybody that backs the Kickstarter with a physical backing. So most Kickstarters don't do that shit. So be ready. Be ready. I need every one of you guys to show up and support that Kickstarter. I've put a lot of money into this Kickstarter because, as you guys know, I fully pay for my books before they ever go to Kickstarter. So every artist is paid. Every single person that's had their hands on the book has been paid. All the stretch goal stuff has been taken care of. All the everything. So it's a lot of money out of my pocket. So make sure you guys show up and show out. All right. Have a good night, mommy. But yeah, make sure you guys are ready for that. All right. Let's see. Now there will be bad guy Lycans in this. Obviously, you're going to have, you're going to have some bad guys that want to see this guy, this blood guy come back. So you will get to see some bad guys. So tons of bats. I'm putting bats. Of course, now this also is going to be kind of a nighttime. Classic, horror movie, and one of the bad guys, he is one of the bad Lycans. He is just pure hateful. He thinks humans are cattle, and he wants to see, like, he just has pure hate for humans. Um, so so you'll see how that guy is. But yeah, I think a lot of you guys are definitely going to dig Cycle of the Blood Moon. Hey, what's up, David? I don't know. Like me and some friends have talked about stuff like that before, of course. Most people are like, "Oh, if I could be any type of mythical creature, be a vampire." And like I can totally understand that because of the sexuality that's always been wrapped around vampire mythology, them just being these sexy mortal creatures. Like I totally get that. Um and I mean, I don't know, it's a hard one. You know, immortality is, I mean, don't get me wrong, werewolves are, according to legend, are immortal also. Well, they're not really immortal. They just age extremely, extremely slow because of their metabolism and stuff like that, their healing process. So they age extremely slow. Like if you saw a werewolf, according to mythology, if he had white hair, you're looking at one that's probably, shit, 1,000 years old, 500 years old, that kind of mythology. And and then you have vampires who are technically full blown um, you know uh, immortal, and being immortal is just not all it's cracked up to be. you know being immortal will definitely weigh on you. I mean, you constantly have to watch, even if you try to have any semblance of a life, just to break up you know the uh the time, you have to watch everyone around you fade away. You you can't you can't share that information with anyone, because I mean, obviously, if someone found out, you know you would, be help, hunted, or possibly taken and studied and shit like that. So would it, you know how would it play into that? I mean, that'd be pretty interesting, but it's not all it's cracked up to be. Especially, watching time go by. You see everything around you, that you knew as your life fade away. You see the world change. I mean, there's parts of it that's pretty cool, seeing the world change and seeing, um, you know, everything evolve and progress through the times. But, at some point, it's no longer, you see things change from the, from terrible to great, and then from great to terrible again. And you see humanity lose itself. You know what I'm saying? You watch these massive strides in humanity overcome so much, and then you have to watch it go to shit in a lot of cases, where it even just kind of backtracks itself to a degree. I mean, like what a lot of stuff's happening today. But then, like I said, then on the, then you also have to, you're watching everyone around you, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, just fade away. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least with lichens or werewolves, however you want to word them, again, just being something that ages slow, eventually you kind of, will reach your end. Yeah, it would be interesting. That's for sure. But yeah, like I said, I think Cycle of the Blood Moon is going to be one of those books that's going to strike a nerve with a lot of people in a good way. Like I said, it's going to have a little bit of everything for everyone. If you're a fan of mythology and you're a fan of, um, you know, campfire monsters, I mean, you're going to get to see that a lot of the things that that goes bump in the night is real. You'll be able to see, you know, what it would really be like if something like this were possible. You get to meet some really dynamic characters, some characters that are really, you know, really interesting and how they view humans and how they view the world, and you know, yeah, I'm super excited. I cannot wait. So, hey, Shelby Lou, what's up, Victor? I hope you're doing awesome. I hope he's feeling better today. Victor was sick yesterday. Victor is my grandson, for those that may not know. Shelby is my daughter, my oldest daughter. Victor's mommy. He's mad because I won't take him to the door. Shelby, if you are outside, stop at my apartment. I don't care if I'm live or not. If any of you girls are ever outside my apartment, just say something and I'll stop the video and come visit. So yeah, if you're out walking, come back down here and I'll stop what I'm doing and come hang out for a little bit. This is just me working on some personal project stuff. So yeah, if you're out there, come back. Don't make him mad. Silly girl. Okay. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to jump off here and go visit with Victor and Shelby for a little bit. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, stay tuned. More information coming soon. Be ready for Psycho Sal number 5 on this coming Wednesday. Do not miss out on that. There's going to be goodies on that Kickstarter that are one of ones and one of threes, that kind of scenario. So don't miss out on that. I'll be back in a bit later. So you guys have a good evening, and thank you again for hanging out with me. Talk to you guys later.